Suns and Bucks are playing Game 3 tonight. So obviously, because I'm recording this before Game 3, we don't know how it ended, but they are playing in Milwaukee tonight. So I'm hoping that my Bucks can turn it around. Um, game 1 and Game 2 did not go well. You can look at Giannis's points. Giannis scored like 42, I think it was, and still lost. Oh, excuse me. So I don't know what it is about the Bucks team, but it seems like every single series, at the start of the series, they have to learn how to play basketball again. If you go back and watch the playoffs, every single series that the Bucks have played in, Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton and Brook Lopez all just forget that they're NBA players until like the third or fourth game. And then by the third or fourth game, they're dropping like 30. They're dropping anywhere from 20 to 30 points. But you can go back to the Hawks series as well. The Hawks series, Chris Middleton was 6 for 23 and 0 for 9 from 3. And then you go to Game 4, and he's dropping like 30 to 40 points. So I really hope that the same thing happens, where we were also 0-2 in the Nets series as well, and we won the Nets series. Again, the Nets were injured, but I don't think the Suns could beat the Nets. So we'll see how it goes. I really want the Bucks to win the finals, but if they don't, it's been a really exciting finals. Brook Lopez, man, I don't know what he's doing. Every single series he just forgets that he's a center, and he doesn't use his height. I was watching Game 1 and Game 2. He's like guarding. He's guarding guards rather than big men, and he's like trying to get down to their level. He's like squatting, and it's like, dude, you're not a point guard. You're not a shooting guard. Go guard the center. And obviously there's gonna be like pick and rolls and rotations where that's gonna happen, but he was doing it continuously. Like he wanted to play the guard position for some reason, and I don't understand why the hell he's doing that. And then if you watch any of the clips where he's there for a block or there for a rebound, he doesn't jump at all. He just stands there. It's like, you're 7 foot, jump for the block, jump for the rebound, and now you got Drew Holiday coming out here. Drew Holiday isn't scoring, but his defense is fucking immaculate. Drew Holiday is something like 6'3", 6'4". Let me look it up real quick. And he blocked a shot from DeAndre Ayton. Drew Holiday is 6'3", and let's look up DeAndre Ayton height. DeAndre Ayton is 6'11". So that means at minimum, even if, say, DeAndre Ayton didn't jump, which he did, Drew Holiday would still have to jump up like 8 inches into the air in order to block DeAndre Ayton's shot. And then DeAndre Ayton and Drew Holiday both jump. Drew Holiday blocks a power forward's shot as a guard. It's just amazing to see. And then they had to go to a jump ball, and it was a jump ball between Drew Holiday and DeAndre Ayton, and Drew Holiday almost won it. Like, I know everybody is saying, because of what I said earlier, Giannis is scoring and still losing. Everybody's saying that Giannis has no help and the other guys don't want it. I think that Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton do want it, simply because of the way they're playing defense. If you look at the way they're playing offense, it looks like they don't want it at all, because they are being shit at offense right now. But the Bucks defense is amazing. If you look at the play where I think it was DeAndre Ayton again got an and one, And the Suns ball movement, I gotta admit, the Suns ball movement was amazing. They were getting people open. They were passing the ball everywhere. They were just trying to move the ball to where they could try and get somebody open. And but if you look at the Bucks side of that, the Bucks are right on top of them. Even with the Suns having some of the greatest ball movement, the Bucks are right on top of them. The Bucks are making sure they can't get an open shot. And Chris Middleton even blocked a shot. I forget on who. Whenever he went for a three. And then it forced him to go through the paint with DeAndre Ayton, which is exactly what I was saying last podcast, where if you need somebody to go through the paint, because if you're pushed to the 3-point line and you don't have an open three, then what are you going to do? And they did exactly what I said, which is that you go to your big man and have your big man go through the paint. But if the Suns didn't have their big men, like I said, they have good 3-point shooters, but the Bucks are doing a better job at defending the 3-point line. And I think the Bucks defense has been amazing these series. However, they can't turn their defense into points, and that is their problem. They're playing amazing defense, but as soon as they switch back to offense, they're bricking shots, and then the Suns get the rebound, and then they go and they have an open lane, they shoot the ball, they win. And I think that Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday, I said last podcast, are somehow some of the most inconsistent players I've ever seen. Because, again, I'm kind of repeating myself here. Chris Middleton goes 6 for 23, 0 of 9 for 3, and then somehow comes around the next game and drops 30 to 40 points. We just need Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday to start dropping 30 points every game and not have to warm up. It's every series so far, it's like they've used the first 2 games as like a warm-up, and then by game 3, they're good to go. But you can't do that in the finals, okay? This is the finals. You need to be ready by game 1. And Mike Budenholzer, even as a Bucks fan, like, what the fuck are you doing as a coach, man? He played Bobby Portis Jr. for only 5 minutes. 5 minutes. The man who got us to the finals because Giannis was injured. Bobby Portis Jr. is, and I'm going to get a lot of hate for saying this, I'm going to get a lot of bias for saying this, Bobby Portis Jr. might be the best 6-man that is in the finals right now. Giannis was injured, and he stepped up, and he scored 25 points in the Bucks-Hawks series in a game. I forget which game it was. It might have been Game 5, or it was either Game 5 or Game 6, because it was a 6-game series. But Bobby Portis Jr., you need to play him more than 5 minutes, especially when Brook Lopez is trying to play as a guard. You need to put Bobby Portis Jr. in place of him and just have Bobby Portis Jr. play angry as he does. And just let him do his thing, because Bobby Portis Jr., he's playing angry, he wants it, he knows what he has to do, and he's doing it well, but he's still on the bench. And Mike Budenholzer, you go, they play what he says in the locker room. He says, play random. Why would you say play random? You don't play random in the NBA, especially against a team like the Suns. You need to have a plan, you need to have a strategy, and you need to use that strategy against the Suns, and that's how you win. If you're playing random and your team is not together and you're just trying to figure out things as you go, you're not going to win. If I would have been in that locker room, I would have said, this is your best chance at a ring. You need to own it. You need to guard the 3-point line. You need to keep DeAndre Ayton out of the paint. If we can do that, we will win. And instead, Mike says, play random, let's play some basketball. And that's all he says. This is the NBA Finals, okay? You need to draw up plays. You need to hype up your players. And he's not doing that. And everybody's saying that Mike can't be fired now because he took his team to the finals. I think if the... I don't know what's going to happen next season, but I think Mike is going to get fired next season because they can't fire him this season because he took his team to the NBA Finals. But he, even as a Bucks fan, he's not a great coach. What else did I have on the Bucks? Yeah, Giannis. Giannis. He didn't break. Did he break the record? He might have tied the record or something like that. He had. Let me look it up. He had the most points in a finals quarter, I think. Let me look it up. Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Milwaukee Bucks. This is from Fan Nation. Giannis Antetokounmpo of the Milwaukee Bucks had 20 points in the third quarter of Game 2 of the NBA Finals. The 20 points surpassed LeBron James and Kobe Bryant's 19 points as the most points in an NBA Finals quarter over the last 25 seasons. It's the first time anybody scored 20 points in a quarter since Michael Jordan in June 16th, 1993, in which Michael Jordan had 22 points in the second quarter. So Giannis is doing that, and he's still losing. Okay? And that's why I've seen people... I saw a comment the other day on Instagram where it said, even if the Bucks lose, Giannis should still get Finals MVP. And I don't think that's going to happen because they always choose from the winning team. But I actually agree with that, even though it's not going to happen. Giannis is putting his heart into it. He's trying to carry his team. And he's already won normal season MVP twice. And this is his chance to get a Finals MVP. And I saw another comment as well when it was before Game 1, and it was on the announcement that Giannis was going to play Game 1, and somebody on the Bucks Instagram page said, it said something like, yo, this man is made of vibranium, and I loved it. I laughed so hard at that because Giannis is coming off an injured leg. He's playing at 65%, and he's still scoring 42 points in a game. We really just need Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton to step it up. And that's all I can really say about that is Brook Lopez, learn how to play as a center. Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, learn how to play basketball again for the millionth time because somehow you keep forgetting. And Mike, be a better coach. If we can do all those things, then we can still win the finals. But if we don't do that, if we lose tonight in Game 3, I gotta admit, even as a Bucks fan, I think it's a wrap. If we lose this game in Milwaukee. Because... Oh, I didn't even bring this up. Let's talk about Game 1, okay? I might get called biased on this, but I honestly believe wholeheartedly that it was Bucks versus refs in Game 1. And if you don't believe me, you want to click off the podcast, you want to ignore everything I'm saying from this point on, fine. But I encourage you, if you don't believe me, go and look at the free throw look at the free throw numbers for Game 1. The Suns had almost 30 free throws in Game 1. The Bucks had 16. they had nearly double our free throws, and they only won by about 13 points. If you even out our free throws, the Suns don't win that game. And everybody's saying, I know the Suns fans and everybody that don't like the Bucks are saying, oh, well, they shouldn't foul so much. Look at the calls that were being made. The Bucks weren't fouling, but the refs wanted the Suns to go to the free throw line. And then the opposite was happening as well, where anytime Giannis had the ball and Giannis scored a layup or a dunk, they would call an offensive foul on him. And that happened, I don't know how many times, to where we had so many of our points negated because they were called as an offensive foul. We probably could have had, I would say, at least 6 more points in that game had there not been so many offensive foul calls. And then Brook Lopez, I do not support Brook Lopez anymore. Brook Lopez tried to pull a dirty play on Chris Paul and get Chris Paul injured. And that's just, like, why would you do that? You have to play sportsmanlike. And as a Bucks fan, I don't enjoy that. You have to play the game with respect. You have to respect the game, respect the other people that got to the same point that you are. Okay? Especially if they're beating you. Like, oh, my phone's going off. I'm sorry about that, guys. You have to respect the people that got to the point that you are. You are not the only team in the NBA Finals. The Suns worked hard to get to this point just like you did. And then you're going to try and intentionally injure them? Like, come on, man. You got to play. Like, that's just dirty. If I was Mike, I wouldn't care about losing the finals. I would bench Brook Lopez for the next 2 games. And I'd be like, even if we win this, we can't do it by playing dirty. And then even if we bench Brook Lopez as well, we could put Bobby Portis Jr. in, like I was talking about earlier, but that's besides the point. I would bench Brook Lopez and be like, hey, we're not going to do that. And now if we do win the finals, everybody, not as many people are going to respect us winning the finals now, because they're going to see us as playing dirty because you did that, Brook Lopez. Like, everybody is going to look at us now and be like, yeah, the Bucks won the finals, but they played dirty, all because of what you did. And I think that's it for the Bucks Suns. That's really all I have on that.